Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host, and this week I'm talking about the Momentum4 method of how to make big progress in your business using really small bite-sized steps. So, if this is of interest to you, let's go to the show. As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. Hello guys, and welcome to this week's podcast. I am currently sitting here in Thailand recording this, so I'm about 6 hours ahead of you. It's a glorious sunny morning and very lucky to be here. Not very excited about coming home in just under a week's time, but hey ho, here I am recording a podcast for you guys, and it's a good one. If any of you have been struggling to make big progress in your business because everything feels maybe a bit too overwhelming, maybe you're not that focused, or you just don't know where to start, this episode is the one for you. Now, last week, a couple of weeks back, I talked about cash flow forecasting, how important it was. And the reason being is probably around 13-14 years ago, when Aura Landscapes was at the start of its journey, we worked with a business coach, and essentially he's the one that told me how important cash flow forecasting is. And I sincerely believe that's the most important thing in your business, anyone's business, not just landscaping, any business, anywhere. You need to know where you're at with your figures, not just relying on accountants like 3 months down the line, which a lot of us do and did. I certainly did until I had that sort of advice. And it's one of the steps and actions I get all of my clients that I work with to do. And I check in with them regularly on that as well. Now, the main thing about Momentum4, and it's just, it's called this because I believe that it gives you the sort of momentum in business that you need. And I called it 4 because I essentially work with clients on a 4 weekly basis. So every month we have a one-to-one call, and essentially we plan out the following month's action plans. And it's based on one action a week. Now, why is this important? Well, it's obviously, first of all, you do have to have a background in working out what your goals are and what you want to achieve, which is something I do with every single one-to-one client I work with. But then it's looking at what you can do each week to move your business forward. And I know we all get caught up in the running of our businesses. We all do, myself included. And you can forget that one small action that actually moves you forward would have a massive momentum and a massive impact on your business. You sort of gain momentum as you go. Now, why is it important? Well, basically, the focus is to focus on that one action. Therefore, you're not feeling as overwhelmed. Therefore, when you do get pulled into the business, firefighting problems, getting involved with the nitty-gritty of running a business, maybe a team's running over, maybe the costs have spiraled. So you always, and these things do happen, you still have to focus on that one activity, one focused task that can be easily achieved for you, but is also something that moves you forward. Consistency will always beat the intensity. So you could work really hard on your business for a month and then not do anything for 11 months. It's not gonna move your business forward that much. However, if you consistently do a small action regularly every month or every week, every day, however much you want to do, it's way more powerful than intensively working on your business for a short period of time and then effectively stepping away. It's better than a long to-do list that never gets finished, and it's far more satisfying when you can check in with, say, your coach, such as myself, and say, yeah, I achieved all of that. What's the next thing? Where are we going next? What's my next task? What's my next action? It also has a compounding effect, because if you get 4 small tasks achieved, 4 strategic moves done, that's 48 a year. That's 48 steps forward a year if you can commit to one small task a week. And that will transform your business. Nothing else. That will transform your business. You've just got to commit to that one action a week. And it also builds massive momentum and confidence, because small wins create that confidence in yourself. It improves your progress in your business, and it will fuel your own motivation. I don't know about you, but I have at times had to-do lists as long as my arm. And if you don't get stuff finished, you get quite cross with yourself. You feel very overwhelmed. You feel like you're not going anywhere fast. You don't feel confident in yourself. You don't feel confident in the business you're building. And you generally don't feel that happy. Whereas now I'm working with my clients in this way, where we do 4 steps, 1 action a week. It's actually moving their businesses forward. Even businesses that I've worked with for years that have struggled to do everything on their to-do list that we've set are now actually achieving the steps, because it is just 1 action a week. And of course, I am there to fully push them and fully chase them up every week to see how they're getting on, and to fully give them a kick up the bum if they need it. So what's an example of this? So essentially, I mainly work with landscapers, so obviously it's a landscaping focused actions, but you might have a big goal that you want to improve your marketing. So what might you do? Well, you could look at 4 marketing and sales actions, such as collecting a client testimonial, collecting their testimonial, photo and video, and then utilising that as a campaign through your social media platforms, putting it on your website and all the other great stuff, maybe sharing it in a newsletter to other clients, etc. Number 2 actions, that might be one for 1 week. The second action could be you're going to update your Google My Business profile, which is great for local SEO, and make sure you put up new images, and maybe even send an email out to your clients asking them to put testimonials directly onto your Google profile. Number 3 might be that you follow up with 5 past inquiries that didn't book in with you. And it's just a case of a phone call and an email, or an email, then a phone call, however you want to do it. Obviously discuss that and think about how you feel most comfortable doing that, and find out why they didn't book, whether they've gone anywhere else, or whether they're still just thinking, and can you go back to them and see if they need any more help, see if they want to rebook in with you. Number 4 could be creating a simple offer that you're going to put out there and then market the hell out of on social media, through your email campaigns, through your website, and through anything else that you've decided is part of your marketing strategy. So that's just say if your goal was to improve your marketing. Maybe your goal is to improve your finance or your admin side of things. Now, this could be number 1, as always, and this is one of the main actions I get all my clients to do until they get it in a regular action, that it becomes so regular you don't need to mention it anymore, and that is reviewing their cash flow forecasting. Go back to the previous episode if you want to listen more on that, or if you send me an email at paula@thelandscaperscoach.co.uk, I can send you the free download I've created about cash flow and why it's important. But either way, it's about reviewing your cash flow forecast and the cash in the bank, and perhaps using the cash framework again, which I talk about in the last podcast. Number 2, you might be chasing all your late payers and sending out all outstanding invoices, chasing them up, getting them paid. It may be that you're really behind on invoicing in general and getting out the invoices for deposits and things like that. Your third action could be updating your pricing to reflect an increase in maybe labour or staff costs. It's always important to review pricing. I've got one client I'm working with who is increasing his teams, and we're currently looking at pricing models to ensure that he's not losing money, as he's got one guy floating around between the team, so we need to make sure he covers his cost and more. So it's all about playing around with your pricing structure. There's no one size fits all. Yes, there is a method, but it's not one size fits all businesses, and you've got to decide what works for you and also what ensures the biggest profit, really. So that's something to always review, but that might be action for week 3. Number 4, it could be making sure that you're setting aside VAT money. Now, I do this as you know, as soon as an invoice gets paid, the VAT money gets transferred into a business savings account. So we've always got the VAT money. I've been caught out before multiple times, especially at the beginning of running a business, because you utilise all the cash to run the next job sometimes if you're not keeping an eye on your figures, which I certainly wasn't. So it's important to set aside any tax and VAT into a separate bank account, ideally as soon as the invoice is paid. That is always the ideal moment, really, to get that done. So it's thinking of things like that. Another thing might be that you're looking to grow your business, looking at a new strategy. So again, it could be something as simple as action one could be to block out 2 hours a week to plan your marketing and your sales, plan out an actual campaign that you can run in spring and summer. Maybe action number two could look at upselling. So could you upsell something onto a job like a clean and seal package or a maintenance package, or planting or a design? All of these things, have a think about how you can upsell. Number three, you could look at how you're going to reach out to new partners, referrals, people that could send you work without much effort. And number four, looking at ways to spend me time. One of my clients was big into yoga, so he used to set himself aside some time each morning just to do like 20 minutes of yoga practice, and it really made a difference to his health and well-being, mentally and physically. So it's really, really important. Now, the main reason these work, the Momentum4, the 4-step method to build your business quickly, is because they're working with someone who's going to make sure they achieve them. You can do this on your own, of course, but you have to make sure you're going to actually set aside the time to get the action done. Obviously, you're not going to be kicked up the bum by anyone, you're not going to be held accountable by anybody. So it really all falls to you to keep that accountability going and that momentum going.